Well, during emergencies, communication is key, and a Senate bill moving through the legislature could change a section of the Hawaii Revised Statutes, removing the mayor or governor's ability to cut off electronic communications during critical circumstances. As Island News reporter Jeremy Lee explains, the bill will be given a final reading on Thursday.
Some members of the press say a section of the Hawaii Revised Statutes allowing for the seizing of control of electronic communications in an emergency is out of date.
There was a concern that radio communications in the 1950s could help triangulate a position of the media or the enemy or some government official, and by severing those radio communications in the 50s, the enemy may not be able to triangulate a location.
But that was then. Everybody has cell phones now.
The technology today really doesn't apply to the landscape of the 1950s.
The issue became so contentious that Hawaii Island's longest-lasting press club criticized Haiima's administrator for standing in the way of changing the passages. Barros spoke to Island News from a conference in D.C.
Just like in Iraq and Afghanistan, where they used electronic means to set off IEDs, that was kind of the concern that we had, that we're not sure what the threat picture will look like in the future. So instead of going from all to nothing, let's find some compromise language.
In this iteration, the Hawaii Island Press Club says Barros did not offer opposition, but submitted testimony as comment. Representative David Tarnas of the Big Island supports the current bill that would make changes.
The power of the governor or mayor to suspend the transmission of electronic media during a state of emergency is overly broad and vague. We believe in the House that this would restrain lawful free speech and publication and violate the First Amendment.
The Hawaii Association of Broadcasters has called the current passage a blank check and said that news media outlets have a federal requirement during an emergency to report vital information.
When the Maui fire happened, a lot of electronic media and broadcast all went offline. People, if they had a radio, they could hear.
Jeremy Lee, Island News.